Hey, Copy Cousins, it's Jeanette, the digital content manager here at OpenSpace Cash, and today we're going to talk about how you can create a page inside of ONTRAPORT. But before we get into it, I want to make sure you go ahead and like this video. Make sure you share it on every platform. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to our channel because every Wednesday and Friday, we're going to be dropping gems on how you can grow your business. All right, now let's get into it. We're going to create a page inside of ONTRAPORT from scratch because even though ONTRAPORT does have a ton of template options, I want you guys to know how everything works, where to find the page elements, and how you can create your own page just in case the templates don't line up with what you need. All right, so let's sign into ONTRAPORT and get started. Okay, so now that we're inside of ONTRAPORT, we're going to go to the Pages section. At the top in the menu, over to the right, you'll see an option for Pages, so we're going to click there. And then you'll see a blue button with a plus sign that says New Landing Page. We'll click there. And once we open this, you will see ONTRAPORT's template options. All right, so these are all of the template options that you have to choose from if you did want to start with one of their pre-built pages. These pages are completely customizable. You can swap out the images, the videos. If you want to delete an entire section, if you want to change the colors, anything you want to do, you can start with a template and, just to make your life easier. But again, for this tutorial, we're going to start by making a page from scratch just so you can see how everything works. And then if you can't find the template that you need, you will know how to do it from scratch by yourself. So I'm going to click this option here where it says start from scratch. And the first thing I'm going to do once I get inside here is I'm going to give this page a basic name. Now this name is internal. So only you and your team will be able to see this. It doesn't have anything to do with the final page. Okay, so you'll see that it says add a block here, and that's under the design section of the page. So we're going to click to add a block. And you'll see that these blocks have different the different amount of columns in them. You can always delete or add columns as you see fit, but if you already know kind of where you're going with the design and one of these templates fit, better for you, you can go ahead and choose that. I went ahead and chose the block that had 4 columns already pre-built. Again, if I wanted to edit this, I could go to edit on the side with the gear icon, and then I can still delete columns if I want. Or I can add columns again. So it's really up to you and how you want to do it. You can click the check box up here to the right to confirm. And then also you'll notice that on the left, more options came up and it does default to the Elements tab. These elements can be clicked, dragged, and dropped here. So it makes it really easy to go ahead and design the kind of page that you want. So you can go ahead and play with these. And then the other tab is Settings. So on the settings, you can see where you can change and edit the page background. You can edit your SEO and social settings, which is very important for search engine results page. Let's see, I'm gonna click done. You can change your fave icon. So there is a default for the ONTRAPORT icon. So you definitely want to change that out for your brand icon. I'm not going to talk about custom code today. The display settings come in handy when you have like a membership site. So, say you have a membership with tiers, silver, gold, or platinum. Maybe you don't want your silver members to get access to the platinum, content. You can decide who gets to see what page here in the display settings. And then you will also see options for pop-ups. So you'll notice when you go to websites, sometimes you're on a page for a certain amount of time and then a pop-up will come on the screen asking you if you want to, maybe get their book at a discount, or if you want to sign up for their free newsletter, or, join their mailing list or things like that. This is where you would add that to your page. All right, so today we're just going to build a basic registration page, and I'm also going to put a form on there so that you will know how to create forms, and we'll even add a payment option as well so you can see how to create a sales page. Okay, so it is going to be basic. I'm not going to focus too much on the design aspect. I just want to show you where everything is, and then you can always, get fancy with the designs later after you know how everything works. All right, so I'm going to delete these, and then we'll get started on the registration page. All right, now typically when I start creating a page, I usually do 3 columns at the top. So I'm going to delete this first column in the block. So what I did was right here to the right, you'll see a gear icon that says edit block. I click there, scroll over, and I hover over the section that I want to delete. And then I'm going to click the trash can symbol and it's going to delete it. All right, so now I'm starting with the 3 different columns inside of my block. Now, usually I go ahead and put an image in the middle, and that's going to be our logo. Again, this is just something that I tend to do. You can go ahead and, create a page however you like. Also, you will notice that above and beneath the columns that there is some space here. So what I did was I clicked to edit again, and then I'm going to go to the left panel where it says spacing, and I'm going to click there. So the top and bottom padding is defaulted to 40 pixels. I'm going to delete some of that and just kind of bring the page a little bit closer together. This is just my preference. It does look fine if you leave it that way. This is just something I tend to do. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add a block. You'll see that there is a plus sign with an arrow over here to the left underneath the first block. And this makes it easy to just go ahead and add a new block. And of course, this screen pops up again to ask you what kind of block do you want to make. So I'm just going to choose a block that has 1 column. And then I'm going to add a headline, and I'll add a subheadline. All right, wait 1 second. Now add a subheadline. Also, you can add as many elements to the blocks as you like, but I will say that having 1 block with a lot of elements does make editing a little bit trickier. Then again, on the other hand, having a ton of blocks on 1 page also makes things tricky too when it comes to like speed and things like that. So definitely want to keep a balance of how much content you put in each block and then how many blocks you have on each page. All right, so I added the headline and the subheadline, and I'm just gonna write something quick. Business. All right, something really quick just to give you guys an example. The subheadline. Oops, let me move my window over. It gets in my way sometime. Okay, so I'm going to edit this subhead. All right. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm going to go ahead and add another block. And in this block, I'm going to use the one that has 3 columns here. And now I'm going to show you how you can add columns to a block. So again, on the side where you see the gear icon, you can click there where it says edit block. And then if you go ahead and hover, you will notice that ONTRAPORT will offer where it says add row. You can click there to add a row. So now it looks like the one I chose the first time we picked the block, or I can delete that. And I can add another column here, or I can add a row at the bottom. So it just depends on what you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Again, I'm really not trying to make this pretty. I just want to show you how to use the pages. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and add an image here. Just moving all around the screen. Okay, so I'm going to click here to change image. And I'm just going to select one that I have in here. ONTRAPORT is telling me that that was a large image, but they do resize it for you, so no worries. Keep in mind, I don't know if you noticed that, but once you select an image or anytime you put, even if you put a video on your page, you can add a link here. So I could have a link where the person viewing the page could click on the image and then they're brought to my Zoom room, or I'm just saying that because this says join our free business webinar. But if you were maybe a hairstylist and your page said, set up an appointment, I'm open next week or something like that, and you had an image of yourself maybe doing someone's hair, they could click on the image and it could lead them to your booking page or something like that. So you can always add links to images. You can edit the image. You can give the image a title. It can make it easier for you to find if you end up having a ton of images inside of ONTRAPORT, which it does happen. So keep those things in mind when you're building this out. I'm going to go ahead and add some text. I'll add it here. And if you see that your block columns are very close together and you don't like how that looks, like it looks kind of weird, you can always click to edit the spacing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the gear icon again where it says edit block. Then I can go hover over the column that I want to edit. So I'm going to edit the one with the image where it has the gear icon again. I'm going to click there. And now you'll see at the top, I'm editing the column. And where it says spacing, we'll click there. And we'll go ahead and add some margin. Okay, so let's just add some left and right margin here. So if we add maybe 15, you'll notice that the image is getting smaller, and that's just to make room for the margin that I'm adding because the margin happens inside the column. So I'm also going to add some at the top. This toggle, if I were to use this, change the top and bottom margin right here with the toggle on, then it would change the margin for the top and bottom. But if I toggle it off, I can choose which one I want to edit the margin for. So I'm just going to edit the margin for the top, and I'll just do 17 again. I chose that completely random. It doesn't matter. However you want to do that and what makes sense for you. All right, so I can do the same thing with the column that has the text. So I'm going to go over here, click on the gear icon again, and then I'm going to click on spacing. Let me move this out the way. And I'm going to click on the left and right margin. And I'll go and I'll just, to make it easier, I'll just do 17 again. And I'll add 17 to the top as well, just to make it uniform. Done. Okay, so now you can see that there is more space between these two columns in the content that they have. All right, so now I also want you to notice that when it comes to the text or anything really, you can click there and you can also change the font. There's a lot of fonts in here. You can change what kind of text it is. Like if you want it to be a subheadline, if you want it to be large body text, you can literally edit that right from here. You can also change the size of the text here as well. And you can change the alignment. So if you want it to be center aligned, so this is all here. Also, you can add bullet points, you can add a numbered list, you can also add a link. So if you wanted to say, let's see. Oh, what happened to my text box? Oh, I'm sorry. Somehow I deleted that. All right, so I'm going to add the text again. And let's just say you wanted to say register now before seats fill up, right? Something like that. So you can actually click here and then you can add a link by coming up to the top where it says more and clicking on the link icon. And again, you could lead them to your booking page, or if you have a separate registration form or something like that. All right, so there are so many things that you can do with this. All right, so I'm going to keep going, and I want to show you guys how you can create a form. So on the side panel, I'm still under the Elements tab. You can scroll down and you'll see a form field option. So I'm going to click on the form field option. Notice that you can add it to any column. You can always add on. I can also add it up here to the sub headline, or I can add it to my, these are fully customizable. So it makes it really nice when you're designing your own pages. All right, so I'm going to click the form field option and I'll just put it in the third column. And they're going to ask you, what object do you want to get form fields from or custom fields from? So we're going to go with the contact object. It's typically always going to be contact unless you create custom objects, which could be, let's say, for example, you're a coach and you only want to make a sales page for your clients who work in service-based businesses or something like that, or you want to work with your clients who have hair salons, or you want to work with your clients who have maybe they're project managers or something like that, or some type of marketing specialist. You want to work with a certain type of client and you want to get those specific merge fields. That's where you would choose the different object. But custom objects, that's something for another video. So we're just going to focus on contact, and the contact object is already built in. You wouldn't have to create that. So we're going to click yes for first name. And then you can, where this little box is in the corner, you can change the size of this. You can make it bigger. It just depends on how you want it to look. And I'm going to save at the top just to keep it. Okay. So I also want to bring your attention to the way the custom or the way the form field looks. So you see now it has first name with a line under it. If you wanted to change that, you could just click right there and you will see a different panel come up on the side on the left. So right now we're in the settings tab. And so if you wanted it to be like right here, it says first name, but let's just say it wasn't. Let's just say it was, let me think of a different option. Okay, so let's say it was email. It was an email contact field. And you don't want it to say email. You could say, how can we reach you? Right? So instead of it saying email, it says, how can we reach you? You probably wouldn't change that, but I just wanted to show you that it is possible if you wanted to. But anyway, I'm going to click there again. And again, it's defaulted to the settings tab. But if you click in the middle where it says style, you can actually edit the style. So if we scroll down, you can see the different options. So this one has a box. This one has kind of a yellowish box. This one is just a box with a little email icon. That's cute. So there are several different options. Also, you can edit it. So right now the text color is gray, but you can change it. So if your brand colors are, purple and gold, you can change it there. Okay, even the line color. So the line color is blue, but you might want to make it black or you might want to make it gray. So you can also change the style of the form field so that it looks good and it looks how you want it to look. Again, so if you wanted to add another form field, you can press and you want it to be formatted the same way. Click on the one that you have, and then if you hover above where it has the plus sign, you can just add another one. So instead of it being instead of it being first name, or no, we changed the other one to email. So now we can put first name, and we can go on, put last name, yes. So as you create custom fields, you would add all the fields that you want on this form. It could be, when's the last time, we met in person? It could be, what kind of business do you have? What kind of style do you want? It just depends on your company, what questions you need them to answer on the form, and how you set it up inside of your CRM. So you can create custom fields for any piece of data that you want your clients, customers, and users to fill out for you. And then you would be able to put that on the form to get that information. I'm just going to save. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a section with a payment gateway so that you can see how to create a page that has a payment form as well. Okay. Okay, so when you want to create a landing page that has multiple products and services on it, the best way that we found to do it here at OpenClicksCash is we create sales pages just like this one with the order form on it. We create that for each one of our products. And then on the main page that lists out each one of our products and services, those products and services have a button that links to the corresponding product or service that, the user would choose. So I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So the first thing, we already went through creating the sales page. So this one ended up being the coaching session. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to publish it. I'm going to use an ONTRAPORT domain. Obviously, you would be using more than likely your own domain, but I'm going to do coaching page and then my temporary domain, and I'm going to save and publish. It's just going to take a few seconds to go ahead and get that up and going for me. And then I'm going to show you what I mean when I say creating a page that has every product and service. So the first thing, or the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this link. And then I'm going to close out of this page. Okay. So we have our order page, and that is for anyone who wants to join the webinar or come to the coaching session, right? So now let's say we wanted to create a landing page for our website that has multiple products and services on it, one being the webinar or the coaching or whatever it is that you offer. So we're going to go ahead and create a new landing page. You know what else I can do? No, I'll go ahead and do it this way. So I'll create a new landing page. And again, you'll see all the templates, but we're going to go ahead and create from scratch. I'm going to give it a really quick internal name here. Oops. So I'm going to add a block, and instead of me choosing from one of these blocks that we did in the first one, I'm going to go ahead and copy from an existing page. So I just wanted to show you how you can do that. So you would click on copy from existing page, and then you'll see a drop down. So I'm going to go ahead and select the landing page example. And now you will see that I'm able to select from whichever block I choose. So I'm going to choose this block, which is the header block with the logo. All right. So now I can add another block. I'll just go ahead and use the first one that only has one column. I'll add a headline and a subhead. And you can, of course, rewrite those. And then I'm going to add another block. And this time I'm going to use the block with two columns that has the smaller column on the left and the wider column on the right. Again, you do not have to do it this way. You can select any kind of columns that you like. I'm just doing this as a quick example of how to create a product page. So you can select an image, put it here, and then you can add some text on this side. And what we're going to do is select this column and then go to the gear icon that lets us edit. And then we're going to go to spacing and we'll just add a little bit of margin to give our elements a little bit of space in between. Okay, so I'm done with that one. Oh, I can also add some at the top so that it's not flush to the top of the column. So I'll go ahead and add a little bit of margin here. Okay, and then I can click the orange check. If you want to do the same thing for the image, you can. I'm just going to add any quick image here. So I'm going to click change image. And I'll select this one that we used on the other page. It's telling me again that this image is really big, but that's okay because they're going to resize it. I'll click the orange check. And right here in the text, I would just say something like, oh, you know what? I'm going to add a little subhead too. All right, so the subhead might say something like, sign up for one-on-one coaching, right? It might say something like that. So I'm going to also add a little bit of padding at the top. And I'm sorry. Okay, so I added the subhead. What I'm going to do to add some space between the subhead and the text, I'm going to click on the text box. And then on the left, I'm going to go to position. And then I'm going to add a little bit of margin at the top to just give it some space, make it look a little bit better. All right, so in this text box here, you would just put, a product description of what it is that they're able to get. And so for this example, since I'm talking about one-on-one coaching, I would, basically talk about what they would get inside the coaching session, how long it would be, things like that. You could give the price if you want, but you also want to add a button here. So the button is very important because this is where we're going to link to our product page that we already created before. So if I dragged and dropped the button, if I hover over the button, I can click on this gear icon, and then it's going to ask me what is the button going to link to. So I can go ahead and paste the link that we just created. Okay, so now when someone, I'm going to save this. When someone comes to this page, let's just say the header is, something like check. All right. I don't know, something like that, right? I'm just doing this really quick to show you guys. Okay, so now that we have our image, we have the product title, we have a product description, we have our button that's linking to the correct page. Now we can save. And let's just say you have, 3 products, or you have 5, or however many you have. You can always click the gear icon on the right. And then if you hit this plus sign, it'll copy the block. So now, and I'm going to hit the orange check. So now we have the exact same block here below. So now what we would do is, let's say, this one could say join our webinar or something like that, right? So let's just say if you were a hairstylist, I know I always use this example, but if you're a hairstylist and maybe the first section would say, click here to sign up for your next appointment. And then the next one could say, click here to join my braiding workshop, right? Click here to buy my hair products. If you're a hairstylist that also sells products. So you could essentially just create the first block, then you would copy it, and then on each button, you would link to that corresponding order page. And the order page would be created exactly how we did it in the last page that we have. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'm going to publish it just so you can see what I mean. I'm going to use their domain again. Say products. And I'm just going to say and save and publish. All right, now that it's published, we can click right here on the link. And this is the page we created. And if we select Get Started, where it says sign up for one-on-one coaching, see, now it leads us to the other page that we created. And this is where they would pay for that service. So this doesn't only have to come from, a product page that lists several of your products and services. It could also just be because you want everything separate. Like some people like to create long landing pages, and then they have the payment section on a different page. So however you want to use it, I just wanted to show you how to use those links to connect those pages, and how that, if you needed to create a product page, you could do that really easily with ONTRAPORT and still create a separate payment page for each product and service that you have. It is a little bit, tedious, but once you've got it set up, you're good to go. Okay, so I hope you enjoy learning how to make a page from scratch with me inside of ONTRAPORT. Definitely let me know in the comments if I went too fast or if there's anything else that you want to see. Let me know, because we'll be checking these comments regularly, and I'll definitely get back to you. So any questions you might have about ONTRAPORT, any questions you have about building pages or even their templates, I'll try to help you as best I can. I don't really use them a lot, but I would love to hear back from you, and just let me know what you think. So definitely like, share, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe now. Thanks.